My grandfather was a bossman. I defeated Levi Rosman. Hello everyone, KosakChess here, and I am really happy to announce my first handmade video, which is not a stream or a stream cut, as you could see in previous clips. Do you know GothamChess? You should, at least. Do you want to see this game? I hope so. So, let's go together to see it. Okay, we can go to the game. e4, c6, d4, d5. So we have a typical setup for Caro-Kann defense. And now white has several options. They can go for a classical variation, which can appear after knight d2 or knight c3. They can go for exchange variation, playing e5. They can play f3, which is nowadays quite a popular variation. This is called fantasy variation. But GothamChess played e5, so it is even considered as a most ambitious way to play against the Caro-Kann. Bishop f5, quite a logical move, because now I want to play e6, and I am happy that I developed the bishop from the c8, and I haven't closed it. And he plays h4. You can see with this icon that this is a book move, but why exactly this is a book move? Well, for several reasons. For example, now e6 would be a big blunder. You know why? g4. Let's have a look. Now white is going to make a use of this h4 pawn. If I go to one of the free squares, he attacks it. If I go to the another free square, he attacks it. And as you can see, I have no free squares for my bishop, since every of these squares is defended by white. So after e6, I am apparently losing my bishop. So that's why I played h5, just to stop these g4 ideas, and also to make an outpost for my bishop on h7. But he is really annoying. He played bishop g5, so again he stops the e6 move. So as far as I know, the best reaction after bishop g5 is to allow ourselves to play e6 anyway. So I moved the queen. I played queen b6 to attack the b2 pawn, to make the pressure on the center. It looks quite logical. But he totally doesn't care that I attacked both of these pawns. And he played bishop d3, which is really trick. Because, okay, you can ask, okay, so if you attack the pawn in the previous move, why you can't take it? Bishop takes f5. I take the rook, and then he can play e6. And the position is really complicated for us, and I believe that white has great compensation. Look at these pieces. They are all stuck on the king side. They are simply dead. None of the pieces made a move. My queen is doing totally nothing. It will cost a lot of time to bring it back to my pieces. And in this time, white can simply develop, can make a castle, and just simply make a use of his activity. So a clever person might ask, okay, what happens if I take the bishop first, and after queen takes d3? Now I take the pawn. Now the rook is hanging. Now, of course, my bishop is not hanging on f5 because it is not anymore on f5. So what is the problem with this? Is that really a problem? The e6 move? Even the... you see, the chess.com says it's a mistake. But the engine doesn't understand the fact that if I take the rook, I can play queen b3, attacking the pawn. And we may think that white wants to do literally the same. They want to grab a pawn and grab a rook, as we did over there. So, but we may be clever and defend this, defend the rook, and be happy of being a rook up and not allowing him to grab our own rook. But he just doesn't care. He can play knight f3, defending the pawn. Again, you may ask, what's the problem with that? I can just grab a pawn or something. He just do a castle. And now we see the idea behind the last white's moves. If he moves this knight wherever he wants, d2, c3, e3, doesn't really matter, The rook will attack our queen because the queen is in a trap. As you can see, every single square which the queen can move is protected, by... Yeah, the c3 square is protected and the d4 pawn is protected also. So the queen is stuck, and if I make some random move, he makes a random move with the knight. The queen is gone. And if the queen is gone, okay, you may ask also that 2 rooks against the queen, it isn't a bad exchange. Of course it isn't in general, but if you look at my pieces, if you look at my king stuck in the center, you will understand probably that we are suffering there a lot. On the other hand, white has every single piece activated, knight e5 soon, attacking the pawn. The king is stuck over there. From the e5, white can jump, for example, to g6, create many problems. So this is the position we don't want to go for. So I just grabbed this pawn. Not this one, but this central pawn. And the thing is that after bishop f5, now after queen e5, you can see the double attack. I'm grabbing the bishop, then I play e6, bishop c5, ending the development, do a castle, and I am really happy. So queen d4, in my opinion, is quite a challenging move for him. He played knight f3, developing the knight. Of course, now the queen and the bishop is hanging, so I played queen g4, defending both of these pieces, bishop f5, queen f5, and c4. And now, please, let's have a look at the at his clock, because he has 3 minutes and 3 seconds. So it means that he is playing by hand. He still is in the book. He still knows the theory, and this is the time I need to solve the first problems, because he attacked my center. So we have several options. We can defend the center by playing e6, but I didn't like this move because after castle, then queen b3, I am lacking my queen. It doesn't have a possibility to come back and to defend the queen side. I don't know if it's scary or not, but in my opinion, I would love to have such a possibility in the future. Maybe I can play knight d7, but some sort of a moves like queen b3 I need to be afraid of attacking this pawn. If I play rook b8, now my rook is standing a little weird here. I just didn't like the c6 move, so I just decided to grab another pawn by playing d takes c4, just like this. Now I am 2 pawns up, but he is still playing really quickly. He made a castle, and now we are in a really interesting position, because now I am 2 pawns up, but he's really quick in his development. He already developed 2 of his pieces. He made his king safer, and my pieces are stuck. He is really soon to end the opening part, and I am still struggling with developing the pieces. Of course, I want to play e6, develop the bishop, develop the knight, and do a castle, but did you see the bar? The bar exploded. The bar is... the whole bar is now white. Queen d8 checkmate. Of course, we don't want to allow such tricks. So, yeah, queen d8 ends the game. So first we want to cover the d8 square. We want not allow the queen to go to d8. That's why I played knight d7 first. And he played rook e1, and now this, I believe this is a beginning of the beginning of his problems. I will maybe tell you why, because the thing is that I am now ready, and I have time to develop everything pretty calmly. In my opinion, knight d2 was a far better move, because if I play some normal moves, like I told you 100 times before, if I play e6 and I develop my bishop, he can go to d6, bishop d6, queen d6, and my knight is stuck because the e7 squared is covered by his pieces. He can play rook d1 pretty soon, attack the knight on d7. If the knight moves, I can show you maybe some potential variation. I don't know. I play rook c8, he plays rook d1, he attacks the knight. If I move my knight, queen d8, checkmate on the last rank. So this position is already really awful for black, and of course I don't want to allow this. So after knight d2, if I don't want to allow for such jumps, I would probably protect this pawn, right? by playing knight b6. But again, I am playing twice with the same piece in the opening, which is not recommended by some clever guys who invented this game. So knight d2 was far better. He played rook e1, which is really normal move, yeah, because he protects the pawn, which I am attacking twice. But as I told you, the time. If you are 2 pawns up, you should solve all of your problems. For example, my problem is the king stuck in the center, so I should solve this problem by making a castle. The best way for making a castle is to just develop this, make a castle. If you are 2 pawns down, you need to play really quick to evidence yourself that you are quick enough, give him such a problems that he wouldn't be able to solve. So I believe rook e1 is a logical move, but a little bit too slow. I played e6. I don't know why the chess.com says it's inaccuracy, like it's a normal move. I told 100 times about it. Want to develop the bishop, develop the knight, make a castle. Now he played knight d2. Knight e7, knight c4, knight d5. And I centralized my knight. I am 2 moves of ending my development. The big difference between this position and the previous one I showed to you is that if he plays knight d6 right now, after bishop takes d6, e takes d6, I can make a castle, and I am totally fine with my position. In this position, if he plays knight d6, bishop d6, queen d6, my knight is stuck on g8 and my king is stuck in the center. He can bring the rook and he is winning. He's winning the game. So you can see that it's the matter even of one move. And if he's not on time with everything, he can't really put me in a big trouble. So I was sure that in this position, I would have a great position because, yeah, bishop c5 castle, I don't have a problem with that. He played knight d4, quite a logical idea, attacking the queen, centralizing the knight. What's the problem? I played queen g4, and of course I am really happy to play this move queen g4 because in general, when you are material up, every single trade is good for you. This is what the clever chess players, clever guys who invented this game tell about this rule. So if you exchange pieces, you should be happy. So I am obviously fine with this endgame because I am no longer threatened with mate because the queen is the strongest piece on the board. But what's after f3? Isn't the queen low on space over there? Well, if I play queen g3, it might be the case. Knight e2. As you can see, the queen can't really move because every single square is protected. After bishop c1, king h1, yes, we found a f2 square, but after rook f1 again, the queen is trapped, so we are losing it. So f3. What's the problem with this move? Well, you need to remember one rule. Whenever you move your king pawn, or the pawn which stands next to your king, you are always weakening your king. Always. It doesn't matter if it's h2 pawn, g2 pawn, or f2 pawn, or when you did a long castle, the c2, b2, or a2 pawn. Every single move with the pawn standing next to your king, this is a weakening of your king. And this is the case in this position, because as you can see, the diagonal has opened. And we can make a use of it by making a simple tactics. Queen takes d4, sacrificing the queen. After queen takes d4, bishop c5, look, if with the pawn on f2, this tactics never works, but with the pawn moved, now the queen is pinned and we are getting back the material. Knight d6 may be a nice try, but after king f8, I mean the nice try because I can take the knight, but of course, if I take the knight, I'm no longer pinning the queen, so king f8. And in the next move, I am getting the queen back. So he probably saw these tactics, and that's why he thought he is smart, and he played queen d3. But let's have a look. He spent almost 1 minute. You see? 1:47, 52 seconds. He spent almost 1 minute playing queen d3, and this is a mistake. So he almost spent 33% of his whole time, because the game is 3+1. He spent almost 33% of his time by playing a single move. This is not a good idea in general, especially when you're playing blitz. Queen d3 is a mistake, mainly because of the move I played, knight c5, because I am attacking the queen and I'm posing him another problems. Because now he has to escape with the queen, but he can't choose a random square, because if he chooses random square, the knight is hanging and I can't play queen takes d4 and I am piece up. So he needs to escape with the queen on that square, which he will protecting the knight. And that's why he played queen d2, but I am annoying and I am still attacking knight d4 and still posing him some problems. If he comes back to d3, we may repeat and we may be happy that we drew with GothamChess, biggest chess influencer, and so on and so on. But we can grab a bishop. We can grab a pawn. We can do bishop c5. We can make a castle. And now we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we are 2 pawns up. And we solved one of the biggest problems, which is this bishop. Now we can put our rook on the open file and be totally fine. So he couldn't stand all of that and sacrifice the rook. Sacrifice the exchange. Rook takes c4. Queen e4. Rook e1. And queen g6. And still, this position isn't that bad for white. If we compare these pieces and this safe king to my pieces, to my rooks, and to my king in the center, you can see that he is the side who is more active. It is not a hard thing to assess. So he definitely has a compensation. If he manages to create some threat to my king, which is still stuck in the center, he should definitely be fine. He knew the thing, and that's why he probably played his next move, which is unfortunately losing, but we need to discover why. The a3 move is the best in this position. The a3 move is the best in this position. If you know why, if you know what is this mysterious move all about, you can write in the comment section. And if you are right, I will pin the heart to your comment. But he played queen a5, a blunder. But from the intuitive side, it is quite a logical move. Because if in some point I play queen c7, I will get really, really close to the king. I will create some deadly threats and I would deliver a checkmate. So queen a5, intuitively, is pretty logical. But it's losing because of a single move. Bishop b4. Double attack. I am attacking rook. I am attacking queen. The knight is defending the bishop. And the game is almost over. Why can't I play queen c7? Probably he forgot about the knight on d5, that it is protecting the c7 square. Because let's have a look. He played queen a5 in just 4 seconds. So he didn't really calculate any variations. He just believed his intuition. That's why he played queen a5. But he just missed bishop b4. And you can also see by time he spent... he spent 17 seconds for playing knight d6, hoping that I would take the knight. And after e takes d6, I am no longer making a double attack. But I just played king f8. I escaped from the check. He moved his queen. He lost another rook. And this is over. He resigned. And GothamChess, the biggest chess influencer on the YouTube, on the stream, on every social media, after 21 moves, he just needed to resign. Thank you very much for joining the analysis. If you liked it and if you enjoyed the time, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. And also, I have one thing to say to you. If you see something that I can improve, if you see something that I could do better in the future, if you see something that you just didn't like in this analysis or in the format of this video, please don't hesitate. If you see something you don't like, write to me on the you can write it in the comment section. You can write it directly on my private message. I would really appreciate every single piece of advice you can give to me. But from now, thank you once again very much for joining here. KosakChess was there. Bye bye bye.